Live.
You just hit puberty.
Good start.
Live from room 1028 at the Boston Back Bay Hilton Hotel. It's a Jesse Scanlon Part 2 edition of Business Pants Friday. Come on. Woo! It's Part 1 for me. Featuring Ari the Data Queen, Free Float's Hidden Gem, Jesse the Money Whisperer. I like that copy. I didn't write that, but I like it.
Yeah.
Hidden Gem. That's a lot to live up to. And Old Man Moody Muscardi. I'm everyone's favorite person named Damian Rollis. And believe me, I checked. I'm the only Damian Rollis in the world. So you're kind of stuck with me being the best out of all of them.
Best is strong. Do we have to go with best?
On today's Friday wrap-up show, or wrap-up the week, we got Twitter. No one looks happy. Kanye. No one looks happy. Ooh, permanent cups. I love permanent cups.
I love a good permanent cup.
I love Jessie just for that she like basically grabbed my favorite headline of the week, permanent cups. And Ari, influence scores. She's got some good news about the influence scores.
All
I got
good, baby.
news about the company.
Yeah,
all
our
good.
company, she means. Our company. Yeah, we actually are a company. We are a legitimate, right? Incorporated. What do you call it?
Yeah.
I'm pretty.
Yeah, we're on the books.
I very much feel like Jesse is the evidence that we're a real company now.
Why? Tell us why. Because this is only the
Well, they
second week
brought
of
me
the
in
Jesse
to-
Scanlon. Yeah, tell us.
They brought me in to legitimize. They were
They.
like, "Hey, we have this."
We're
You know, it's
they.
us,
Actually-
right? We are they.
Ari was assigned.
true, it was
I think
Ari.
Ari was assigned, and then she was like, "I don't want to do this. I know a girl."
Yeah.
Wait, why are you the money whisperer? What are your actual credentials, Jesse?
I am a CPA, so I feel like that makes
End of story.
me.
Drop the mic. Drop the laptop. Just get out of here. Incredible.
Every audience
That's
loves
why
a good
I'm the hidden
CPA.
gem.
We realize we have a panel of 4. One's a librarian, one's a CPA. I mean, we are the most boring quartet known to the world.
But I feel
no?
like
Ari was
we're
an engineer and I
on
was
the
a
more
musician.
exciting end. Yeah, true.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. All right, you ready
Matt's
for
the most
this?
exciting one? Oh, God, no.
Matt, have you seen Matt's a professional profile pic
Yeah.
with the
Yeah,
highlights and the?
We were talking about it
There
on
were no
Slack.
highlights.
Ooh.
In my head, they're highlights. Believe me, there's
There
a
are no
lot of
highlights.
highlights.
It's called frosted tips. I
Frosted
think.
tips.
No.
exactly.
I never frosted the tips. I did the full bleach, the bottle bleach blonde in like 2003. That was the thing.
Is this
Do it
how old
again.
your profile pic is? Are you Matt Orsag? Why is your picture so old?
How dare you impugn Matt Orsag in that?
I do it with love.
And I think he has fake glasses on just to make him look a little.
Oh, for
I have
sure.
real
for
glasses.
sure.
I just don't wear them ever. I used to wear them all the time, but then they broke, and I am too I'm too cheap to get new glasses. I'd rather
Yeah,
not
thus
see.
fake glasses. Yeah, I'm into fake glasses too. All right, you ready for this? Wrap up the week.
All right, let's do it.
The week of October 24th, 2022. A very depressing week, not just because I'm in full long COVID depression, but just because it was. And I get to say it was. That's it.
I agree with you, Damien.
That's the show. Oh, you do.
That's it. Show over.
concur.
Everyone go home.
Before we get there, story of the week, Damien. Goodliest of the week, the great Ari, the data queen. Assholiest of the week, BS correspondent Matt Muscardi. And our new category, I know we did it last week, but it's new to me, so I'm going to pretend like we've never heard it before. Exhaustingest of the week with the great Jesse Scallion. You look a little bit like a scallion.
Can
to
we
be
go
honest.
with Jesse Scallion?
What?
Can we do that?
I mean, a
from
little
now
bit. You look a little bit like a scallion.
I'm not even wearing green.
I don't know what that
said it.
means. I don't know what that means. All right.
on?
You ready for this?
An empty green tube.
Let's get to it. Story of the week. Come on.
Flavor.
let's
Yeah, I'll do it. Yeah, we're waiting for you. You're the story of the week.
Retransition me in. Retransition me in.
You
Give me
need
something.
another transition?
Yes.
There. That's
Okay,
all
that's
you
fine.
get.
There are two just so obvious stories of the week, unfortunately. The Twitter saga appears to be over, I suppose.
Oh.
Uh,
Really?
Yeah, I know. You know what?
This week is like Liz Truss who?
Yeah, Liz
Yeah.
Truss who was right. I think,
mean-
and I'm. You know what, Matt? I know you're going to cover this. So, do you want to kick the Twitter story down the? Down
No,
the
I'm
show a
not
little
going to
bit?
really
Kick the
cover
can?
it. I'm
No, you're not.
covering elements, but not. Wait, there's some duplication, but not a lot.
Okay.
So-
From our perspective, here's what matters. CEO Tesla CEO Elon Musk is now ostensibly the CEO of Twitter. He owns Twitter. He's already kicked out the Twitter CEO Parag Agrawal, which we've been kind of sheepishly making fun of Parag since he started. So yet another thing that we basically predicted. No, we've been.
Yes.
If we joke about you, your career is effed. Am I wrong about that?
I think that gives us a lot. Or that may give us a lot more credit.
No, I think we deserve the credit on this one. I think we've been jumping on Parag since the day when he took over. We knew it was like a puppet wrapped in a milk carton, wrapped in a, I don't know where to go with this analogy, wrapped in a Kit Kat wrapper. I don't even know.
Except that it's not like bad news for anybody at Twitter. I mean, everybody at Twitter is basically leaving Twitter to go get jobs at other places where they'll make arguably more money and have some respect, or they're getting paid out massive sums of money.
Yeah, I don't know if that's good news. I don't know. Here's the headline I like the most. Twitter staff react to Elon Musk's takeover. I am fully expecting him to fire 69% of us on Friday at 4:20 p.m.
420.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, you can laugh, but this is the way this man operates. So I'm waiting. We're like 3 hours away. Let's see what happens. Yeah.
It's already
I
closed.
don't know if this is good news. Matt. I don't know if I agree with you. I think there's a lot of probably thousands of devastated employees at Twitter. Not to mention
Name
tens of hundreds of millions of devastated people that the big orange blowhards going to be coming back to Twitter. The great Donald Trump.
Do you
soon
think
to,
that really happened?
Of course.
Yeah,
I mean, isn't that the
that'll
whole
happen.
point of Elon's takeover? Is that he pretends to be completely 100% free speech, even though he's already sent a letter to advertisers saying, "Don't worry, it's not going to be really free speech."
He said, "Don't worry. Nobody wants a hellscape." That's what he said.
Which is what he's been pretending it would be, right? He pretended that it would be 100% free speech zone. He's already backpedaling.
I like that he's pretending he's not been on Twitter before. It is a hellscape.
Like he is the hellscape.
He's literally Satan of the hellscape. That's the way that works.
Number 2 story, which actually overlaps a little bit with the Twitter story, is Kanye West. So essentially, I know you guys covered this a little bit last week, but since then,
We've learned how to say his name now,
I don't even care.
Jesse.
Yeah, I don't care. Tell us, Jesse, how do you say his name other than anti-Semitic butthole?
Yay. We
Yeah.
were saying
okay, well, yeah,
ye,
Kanye.
but it's yay.
No, well, yeah,
Right.
Kanye.
No, I was saying
Well,
ye on
apparent.
purpose.
Oh, what's ye old
Yeah, that's right.
laundry
Well, it's
shop?
Y-E.
Yeah.
It
Okay.
could easily be ye, but it's yay.
We're
I
like
didn't
the
know,
Adidas
so
board.
I guess
we're
I
a
was
bunch of
telling
white
myself.
people. Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, that's the only thing I probably would have gotten right if I was around last week. I just assumed Kanye. Kanye. Anyway, who cares? Here the companies have already dumped him. Adidas. Congratulations, Adidas. They waffled for like a good German company full of white board members. They waffled for a bit on what to do with Kanye. They didn't know what to do.
I mean, you'd think they would have been the first to act.
You'd think the way Germany, the country, is very sensitive about anti-Semitism.
You'd think.
But the company itself was like, I don't know. Sneakers.
Was
Sell
it?
sneakers.
Wait, but is this a line of shoes that he's actually advertising called DeathCon 3? Is that like a new shoe line, or
Oh,
is
so
that
you're already thinking that
anti-Semitic?
was not anti-Semitism, but it's a
advertising.
DEFCON 3.
I think they we don't know what goes on,
We don't know.
in a product R&D at Adidas, and Ye might have been there being like, yeah, DeathCon 3 shoes is what my line's going to be called, and who knows?
overlapping with
Who's
our
selling to the Jews?
overlapping with our show earlier this week, celebrity directors. There's only one black director at Adidas, which is, I'd say, relatively shocking for a brand in retail like Adidas. And who was that? Who's the only black member? It's a celebrity director, Matt. Jackie
Ooh.
Joyner Kersey, former Olympic
Ooh.
athlete. Jackie Joyner
Whoa.
Kersey.
Jackie Joyner, yeah.
What
So is she like a
sport?
double token or
She's a
triple
runner.
token director? What is that? If you're a black
No,
woman
she's-
celebrity,
No,
what are you?
no.
What level of token are you?
Well, she had to be a lesbian to get the triple. She's just the
Well,
double.
I don't know that she's not, so I'm not assuming she's not.
I'm pretty sure she's married to
Triple
a man,
double.
I would say.
Okay, maybe to Kersey.
Kersey is a token because there's
No,
only
maybe
one
she's
Kersey.
married to a Kersey. All right, we're killing the.
Yeah, what do you do? What do you
Let's
do?
go.
Here's the other
Let's go.
story. Here are the
There
other
you go.
story. The other companies that dumped Kanye: J.P. Morgan Chase. That seems like a big one. Talent agency,
Wait,
CAA.
why were they together in the first place?
Because he had his business, all his business accounts was with J.P. Morgan Chase, and
Oh.
they, unlike all of the
I
companies,
thought he was in their commercials. Like, "It's the
unlike
new
net
Chase
zero
card."
by 2050, J.P. Morgan is saying, Kanye, get your shit up by November 21st. They've given him a date, November 21st. What is,
I thought
What is-
Jamie Dimon was not a woke capitalist.
what is November 21st, by the way? It's 3 days before Thanksgiving. So they want to get this off before Thanksgiving is what they're saying.
Yeah, that's their Black Friday sale. It's a
Right, so they-
sale of accounts to somebody else.
I like that, though. I like that very specific detail. Yeah, go ahead.
But why are they discriminating against free speech? I thought that Jamie Dimon was not ESG, not woke capitalism.
No, he's not against. He's a confusing one. He's on both. I think his whole thing is that he says that some people don't give a shit, but sometimes
He
I
did
do
say
give
that.
a shit.
Yeah.
He kneels sometimes he doesn't. He's a centrist. He's a true centrist, Jamie.
Yeah. This
All right.
actually this one I guess is easy to be centrist on. Anti-Semitism is one of the easy ones.
Who else? Twitter, Instagram, The Real, Foot Locker, blah blah blah.
Oh, Foot
although it's-
Locker.
But soon to be back at Twitter, I'm guessing, because of Elon's takeover. So that's the second story of the week. Is just all the companies bailing on Kanye.
Except for
notice
the
how-
company that he bought, which is Parler.
True.
Well, he bought it.
Yeah.
But
They haven't bailed
Foot
on him yet.
Locker, Foot Locker was like in the news for being, the sad story. Like, oh, Nike reduced the amount of sneakers that Foot Locker is going to sell, and now Foot Locker has let go of this. Oh. Foot
Oh,
Locker.
yeah, no, nobody cares about Foot Locker.
Or your Foot Locker hate is beguiling. I don't understand it.
Oh, Foot Locker.
How dare you? Number 3 story of the week is just an old-fashioned one, but there's a lot of stock market news this week.
Yeah,
There's
bad
kinda
earnings.
Two things going on. One is that there's a pullback from all the big data stocks. There's tons of news piling on the glee that Mark Zuckerberg's meta empire seems to be crumbling, although I don't believe it for a second. I mean, if I
Been
invested
crumbling
in
for
the
5
stock
years.
market, what's that?
It's been crumbling for 5 years.
Yeah, I don't know about that. If I invested in the stock market, and Jesse, maybe I should. You're a CPA. Should I invest in the stock market? I don't even know.
Do you not?
I don't care. I don't know. I don't think I do. I don't really know what's going on.
Well, I'm not a financial advisor, but
That's true.
We can have the conversation.
Okay,
off
we have the
air.
conversation. But if I was a betting man, which I'm also not, I would think that now would be the time to buy a crap ton of Zuckerberg stock because it's really gone quite low. But anyway, that's the big news: is that all the old-fashioned big data blue chip stocks are failing, and then the OG blue chip chips are rising again. Exxon, Chevron are reporting absolute record profits. Exxon posts strongest quarterly result in its 152-year history.
Yeah, well, it helps when the OPEC and Russia instigate global instability in oil prices. That helps.
Greedflation.
Yeah.
that's-
But can we stop for a moment to address
Yes, of
how
course.
quickly you were willing to throw all of your morals out the window
Yeah,
because
tell me, how did I do
Facebook
that?
stock was cheap? You literally just said
Meta.
that
I said
Meta.
if.
I was a gambling man,
Yeah.
it's really cheap right now.
totally
I would
buy
buy it.
Totally.
Well, maybe maybe it's backlash against Kanye's anti-Semitism. Maybe I want to believe in Mark. I don't know. I mean,
Oh
just
my
leave me
God.
alone. I don't know. What do I know?
I don't embrace Mark Zuckerberg because Kanye
You know what?
is an anti-Semite.
I know I should be secretly thrilled that his empire is crumbling, and they're saying his net worth has already gone from like 120 billion to 20 billion, blah blah blah. But I just think he's gonna figure it out. That's my fear. I think this is like the best case scenario is that everyone's doubting him. Cause I just don't get why I don't get why after like 3 bad months they're suddenly doubting this guy.
By
something
figure it
tells me
out,
he's gonna figure it out.
by figure it out, you do mean he will remain entrenched in his fake public company that no one can get him off of anyway. And then he's still a billionaire 30 times over. That's figure it out. So he's figuring it out. That's what he's doing.
No, I meant he's gonna
He
figure
owns
out
a Hawaiian island, for Christ's sake.
He's gonna
I think
figure
he's
out the
figured
future.
it out.
That guy bails out. It's like, I want that bailout package. I want to figure that out.
Fourth story of the week, I put in my stakeholders rule category. Environmental activists. It's a big week for environmental activists.
Was it? Tell me. I haven't heard anything.
I mean, this is like maybe their best week ever. I gotta tell you.
Wait, are these the
first,
people throwing tomato sauce?
Yeah, this
at
is mashed potatoes.
things?
first
What
they
a waste of
pelted.
mashed potatoes. They're delicious.
For some of them are actually you should waste. Some of them are very gluey, and I think you should throw those at paintings.
That's true.
First, they pelted a Monet with mashed potatoes. I like how they have to say in the headline they pelted a $110 million Monet.
Yeah.
Why
we
does
talked about
that have
yeah.
to be the adjective about that Monet painting?
It can't just be a beautiful Monet that they attempted to
In
ruin.
fact-
a pastoral picture of nature is what they decided to desecrate.
In fact, I'm now talking directly to you, all museums. Instead of the stupid little note cards that tell you who did the painting and when and what some details, just put a price tag on it. That's all that really matters.
Yeah.
What are you doing? I don't care who painted this piece of shit. I want a price tag. Okay, so Ari, first they pelted Monet with mashed potatoes, and then they Van Gogh. What did they do to Van Gogh?
Didn't they glue their hands to it or something?
They glued their
Whoa, glue. That's escalating.
Here's my favorite: the girl with a pearl earring, the Vermeer painting in the Netherlands. Climate activist arrested after gluing his head
Oh my God.
to the painting, while another poured what appeared to be tomato soup and glued himself to a nearby wall.
The gluing to the wall.
A lot
I'm
of
not
gluing
sure.
going on in the Netherlands. A lot
The
of gluing.
gluing to the girl thing. That's just. I feel like that would happen in real life to that girl.
I mean,
in the
are
painting.
we? Here's the question, and this
Yeah.
is the question to climate activists: are we talking about climate change in a meaningful way, where we're going to do something about it because you glued your head to a painting?
Look, there's an article today out of the Atlantic called "The Climate Art Vandals Are Embarrassing." But when you read the article, it makes me think that they've achieved their job, which is to get a hell of a lot of press and to get people talking about it. I mean, I know we're already talking about it,
People are
but
talking about the paintings.
Yeah.
okay, no, they're talking about everything. I don't know.
Talking about the methods, the gluing.
The gluing.
We're talking about
Hey.
how
Yeah.
the conversation. Like, there's a lot of ways to make change. Gluing heads to things has never really been the way that worked.
I don't know. I don't know if I agree with that.
I don't think even Greenpeace doesn't glue their head to narwhals. That's not what they do. They go out and protect them. They tie themselves to trees and stuff. At least that has a interaction with nature. This is we are going to, because these are expensive paintings, the celebration of art. Art is actually sort of one of the ways to talk about climate change, I feel like.
How
And
so?
Art is usually a celebration
creating art about
of
the issue.
Like
No,
sculptures and stuff.
sculptures, and it's a celebration of nature.
So you're saying they should be throwing. So you're saying they should be throwing mashed potatoes at sculptures instead. That's what you're saying.
I know. I'm saying if you're going to throw mashed
It's a better
potatoes,
target.
No, he's
throw it
saying
at
leave
Jamie
art out
Dimon.
of it. Yeah,
No,
he's saying
no,
leave
Jesse.
the
I'm
art
pretty
out
sure
of
I heard
it.
him say that it makes a better target.
Glue your hand to a J.P. Morgan Chase ATM.
Ah.
Why don't you glue your hair into Greta Thunberg's face? Maybe that would help.
Oh.
You know.
No,
Poor
I don't condone gluing in any way. Unless it's mashed potatoes, gluey mashed potatoes, then I do condone it. Actually.
And then they're glued on their own.
Let me ask you this before
So
you vote.
crazy.
if they were to have done this on Twitter, would they be banned? Would they? Can you throw mashed potatoes on Twitter? Is that free speech?
If you throw them at Elon Musk, then he will hunt you down and ban you. And maybe Dan Snyder, but
what do you
not.
think he thinks about this free speech? Is this part of the hellscape? Is this part of the heavenscape? What is this?
It's not a very centrist position. I don't know. Let's not answer that. Let's answer who the
All right,
story of
let's
the
vote.
week is.
Let's
All
vote.
So summing up, we've got Twitter, we've
Twitter.
got Kanye, we've
Yay.
got basically oil companies making lots of money
Stock
and Meta
markets.
making not a lot of
Yeah.
money. And then we have environmental activists. I don't want to give it to the environmental activists. Jesse,
I don't want to give it to Elon.
Ari,
Yeah, I was gonna say Twitter.
you think it's wait, Jesse, you think it's Twitter? Twitter is the story.
I don't want to give it to Elon, but I don't want to give it to Ye. I want to give it to
Can't
Ye
give it to
less than I want to give
Okay.
it.
All right, I'm going to slow you down
Should-
for a second, Jesse.
must.
You do realize that we're not actually, by voting for them, we're not giving them anything, really. We're not, there's no award, there's no
We should
money.
start-
Attention! Isn't our
Attention.
attention monetized these
Not-
days?
no.
Well,
ours
we do have a
is not.
sponsor. No, S-Gage, our first sponsor. We're waiting for more.
Yeah. Ours is not monetized, really.
I'm gonna go with Kanye because I think it's great
Oh,
that
you would.
you know
Honestly, you
people
would.
like J.P. Morgan, they're dropping him.
No, she's
You do
going
know
with
that
Kanye
JP
because of
Morgan's not a
Foot Locker.
person.
This is really a Foot Locker vote.
All right, so Jesse, Twitter, Ari, Kanye, Matt, basically you can break the tie here unless you want to go somewhere else.
Well, I was actually thinking about, like, both of those things are sort of immaterial next to the fact that Exxon and Chevron made the most
True.
money they've ever made in the history of ever.
Crazy.
That's a big deal because
During
that
global inflation.
Because look,
Mhm.
think about the ripple effect of that. The ripple effect of that, them announcing those earnings, is Strive Asset Management goes out and says, "Look, our energy ETF, that focuses on stake or shareholders, not stakeholders, and yeah, it worked, right? And it has all the narrative of that is what matters." And now they can double down on that narrative, even if it's bullshit. Like, it's just bullshit. It's fake constraints to dino juice. That to me is the story
That's
of
your
the week.
story of the week?
Yeah.
Oh,
So
God,
you
now I
have to
break
pick
tie.
the story of the week. That was please pick environmental activists so we each pick one.
Actually,
What's
mean,
it gonna be?
it's been a busy week for headlines, and the three that really stole the most headlines are the activists, Kanye, and Twitter. But I hate to do this, but just for the sheer volume of stories and the sheer veracity of stories, and we were begging companies to react to the dismantling of Roe versus Wade. They had nothing to say, but they quickly have something to say about Kanye. But it just seemed to be the story of until the. I mean, I know Twitter went final this Friday, although we knew it was coming because there was a date, a deadline set by the judge. So I don't know. I mean, we kind of knew that was coming. So I got to vote for Kanye. Unfortunately, it's because again, I mean, I don't know why. I'm kind of waiting for the anti-woke to have a statement here because they should be angry at corporations for talking out against Kanye, right? This is clearly it's a woke decision by these corporations.
Right.
But
To-
those
right?
same anti-woke also are very pro-Israel.
Right.
They're pro-Israel from
is why
a
they're
bizarre biblical
Here's my favorite
military. Yeah, I don't know why.
My
but
favorite thing about that conundrum is it's the same conundrum that the woke face, right? Like we have all these like backwards ideas of what woke and anti-woke is, and it turns out the universe isn't binary, and making it binary doesn't work so well. So saying like woke corporations are coming down on Kanye and being like patriots and pro-Israel really are sort of in conflict. That's how the world works.
That's the best.
Yeah, I actually agree with Matt for once. It's a confusing world. I think that's what you're saying. It's confusing.
It's confusing. Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
So
All right.
Kanye wins.
Kanye wins.
Come on, moving on.
Mostly
Goodliest of
because
the week.
Jesse didn't want to give it to Kanye.
Look,
I can see it.
honestly, for once, there's really no wrong answer. They're all pretty big stories. Ari, bail us out of this mess. Come on, give us something good.
Yeah, all these big stories have taken over the news cycle, and I had a hard time finding any good news
Yeah,
about
it's been a
the
depressing
outside
week.
world. So
Mhm.
I brought one good news from our company.
Yes.
Okay.
That is
All right, I'm
right.
excited.
Wait, why?
Yep.
Where's this at? Is
Listen,
it gentle
Oh.
clapping? No.
They
Come
don't.
on.
They don't know the news
it up.
is yet.
Pick it up. Yeah. go ahead.
major step in rating directors all around the world. Directors of public companies. You want to know what the inside of a boardroom is like? We can tell you. Our influence scores are done.
That's right.
That's more cheering.
There it is.
What do you mean
Look,
they're done?
Yeah.
What do you mean they're done?
They're done. They're
What does
done
that mean?
for-
Elaborate.
It means that I can tell you who was the
Mm-hmm.
most powerful person for the last, 5 years.
Tell
at-
us.
Well, not right now. You have to.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
Go tell us something. I want to know something. I want one little tidbit. Something.
Well,
You can make it up.
this is the thing.
No
I
one's
have-
listening.
I'm not going to make it up, Damien. There are 3 tidbits that you can choose from that will
Ooh.
be part of the Goodliest of the Week next week. So
Oh,
these are your
tease.
options.
You're giving me a 7-day tease? Okay, fine.
Number 1.
Yes.
Do you want to know the companies where women have a higher
Yes.
percent of
Ooh.
influence than
Yes.
pure company makeup? Do you want to
I
know where
wanna know
women
that
actually
now.
have influence?
I love it. I want to know that right now.
I can
Do
tell you
you
an answer
want to
right
know which pay chairs have
Yeah.
narrowed the CEO pay ratio?
now. Ooh.
Absolutely.
That's a
Yes.
great one.
That,
You gotta
yeah.
pick one. Or do you want to know which
No,
companies
one.
are crushing their carbon emissions?
All of the above. What are you talking about? I want to know all this. This is
Here's the
great.
amazing
Which one
part.
do you want to know next week?
This is why it's good news. This is why it's good news. We
Yeah.
have those answers. We built them. We have them. My vote is for this one for Goodliest of the Week. I don't know about you guys. I'm voting.
This
for
is the only
this.
story, right?
Second
This is the only
that.
choice.
This
All
is-
right.
You have to pick A, B, or C, people.
Oh, you
Here's the
really
other
want us to
thing.
vote? Okay, let's
Yes.
vote.
I want to
Yeah.
say the other goodliest thing that Ari did not list here, which is
Yeah.
that we have not like one or two, but multiple multinational asset managers and investors who are looking at and using this data now. That is the good
they
news.
should.
That is the good
As
news.
they should.
We can give you the influence of any individual director on any company in a year
Can
and
I-
over
can I
their
be-
careers.
Can I be serious for 8 seconds?
No.
Sure, what?
If I had had this data while painstakingly writing company reports for MSCI, etc., I would have used this stuff daily. This gives insight into something that you could never really get your hands on. There was never really a way to explain the board in this way. So this is, from a very nerdy perspective, this is very highly useful. Highly useful.
Nerds are excited. Now, pick one for next
Okay.
week.
Just because of the sheer novelty of it, we've talked a lot about where women have a higher percentage of influence than the actual, membership of the board. I like the pay chairs that have
Yes.
narrowed the CEO pay ratio. This is very, very, again,
That's the
very
coolest thing.
useful, very novel information. There is nobody talking about the CEO pay ratio in this way. I have read 800 articles about this. I read about them weekly. I look at so
Love
many
it.
news stories every week. They don't cover in any meaningful way other than simply stating the ratio.
Yeah.
No news agencies, even the titans over at Bloomberg, haven't figured out a single way to tell a story about this data.
Yeah.
And this finally, Ari,
I
you
second
landed on
that
something.
vote because I
Landed on
know that
something.
Disney is the company that has the highest percentage of female influence relative to the
That's right.
percentage of
Yeah, that's right.
women on the board. Thank you, Susan Arnold, for being
Incredible.
like a,
the
a-
very
a
woke Disney.
monster of influence inside that board. And I also know like the carbon data, but that one I'd never heard. I second it.
What do you want to
All
hear,
right.
Jesse, next week? Which one are you voting for?
That's what I want to hear. I have an article about that today, so I
Wow.
wanna know.
All right. It is
Yeah.
a clean sweep.
And just so everyone knows, all of Jesse's segments today have been pre-recorded. Just want people to know. All right.
All
That's
right.
very exciting news, Ari. Thank you. The influencer scores, board sabermetrics, finally done. So what is this? What's the next step, you guys? The analytics department. What's the next step?
Well,
Finding people.
we get
to tell you
people.
about.
We have the API. We're
Okay.
putting it all in the cloud. It's all in a cloud. So the next step is people buying it. We're building
What
a
about
platform.
the platform?
We're building
Yeah.
a
What
platform.
about the very purpley, sparkly platform? When are we going to get to see
that's
that?
on its way. That's going to
What
take
year?
a little bit.
Is
but
our corporate
What
color.
decade? What decade are we going to see that?
if we're lucky.
2090s.
Yeah. If we're
2090s.
lucky, we'll
But-
get it in a shade under
know-
2050.
Buffett will still be on the board of Berkshire, so it's fine.
That's true. He does
Well,
seem to.
his daughter's now on the board, right? Howard Buffett's on the. There'll always be a Buffett. on the
Susan
board
and
of
Howard, yeah.
Berkshire.
This is-
Okay, moving on. Thank you, Ari. Assholiest of the week.
That's me.
Old man Moody Muscardi. Come on.
Yeah,
let's
that's
do
me. Oh, look. I get
it.
the.
Are you actually going to break some news here? Or you... No.
No. We never break the news. All right, assholiest of the week. You've got 4 options this week.
Okay.
One of which is very personal. The first option is Elon, obviously.
Of
And
course.
I'm just going to give you some highlights. Shows up to his first day of work at a company he bought on a lark with a sink for the
Oh,
optics to be able to
Can you
set.
explain this to me?
Yeah.
They were describing it in the press as with a bathroom sink. What's
Yes.
the analogy I'm not getting here?
He then tweeted, "I just bought Twitter. Let that sink in."
That's it?
Not kidding.
The effort of carrying a sink around just for that joke?
He put it down immediately. He's
See, I
like,
thought it was something
It's
like
a pun.
everything.
Yeah.
I thought it was something in the everything but the kitchen sink. Isn't that a saying?
That
But I
is a
didn't get the
thing.
bathroom sink.
but then he would have
Okay.
brought in the kitchen sink
kitchen
first
sink?
of all. But that's
Right,
really
why I was
heavy.
confused.
And second
Guy's
of
an
all,
idiot. Let's
everything
admit it.
but the kitchen
Idiot.
sink. What does that mean? He brought the kitchen
I don't
sink
know.
also?
I don't know what "let that sink in" means either, though. I don't. That's not the correct usage of a sink. I don't. The whole thing is asinine. He's a child.
Here's a quote from the letter he sent to advertisers. Quote, "I
Yes.
didn't do it," talking about why he bought Twitter. "I didn't do it because it would be easy. I didn't do it to make more money. I did it to try to help humanity, whom I love. And
could
I
kill the
do
company.
so with humility."
Good. So does
Oh
that mean
my
he's getting rid of it?
God.
Does that mean he's
Is that
getting
the
rid of
biggest-
Twitter?
You know what?
The biggest ego.
Narcissism.
You know what? Also, helping humanity looks like not spending $44 billion on Twitter. That's
I
what
disagree,
helping
Matt.
humanity looks like.
Maybe he's going to systematically buy all social media and just run it out of business. That
Maybe
would be
that's
good.
why he and Ye are talking so much. Also, here's a headline. The $1,900 toy Tesla ATV
Ooh.
is recalled
second-
over safety violations.
Yeah, my
Tesla
second favorite headline of the week.
Can't
Can you talk about
even-
that? Yeah.
Tesla can't even make a joke toy without recalling it. Because the next headline is Tesla confirms hardware recall over Model 3 seatbelt problem.
Yeah.
They've recalled everything they've ever made at this point.
Not to mention stories that 10 out of 11 highway fatalities of automated driving come from Tesla. 10 out of 11. That's the.
I mean, that's a
report.
skewed statistic. I don't like that.
We
one.
have
Still,
a
I don't
Tesla
care.
owner
I'll
here.
skew it anyway.
Yeah.
Jesse, tell us about your Tesla. Does it
No,
drive itself?
no, we don't. It's technically my boyfriend's because he pays for it. And I told him this week that after all of these headlines,
What?
Wow.
Wait, seriously? Wait,
We
we have a
just-
Tesla owner at Free Float?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, we
Well,
don't, though. We don't
no.
technically, actually.
At
We're
Jason.
not married, and it's his money. We have there's no sharing of money.
he
She's
own
a
it?
CPA, so.
Is he
No, he's
leasing
leasing it.
Tell him
Leasing it.
Tell him to get the
And I
Hyundai.
told him that. Well, I told him that we have to jump ship, but
do.
we're not even a year in at this point. So we've got. I was like, maybe Musk will turn this thing around, but if he
Sure.
doesn't over the next 2.5 years, I can't.
think-
we can't do this.
Just wait. Just tell me when his model whatever gets recalled. That's because that's
Well,
the real
we
story.
have a Model 3, so are you guys concerned for me or
No. No.
No, I
You
don't
should buy
care.
a harness to just.
should
strap
I
your-
not trust the seatbelt?
It's just
Jesse,
wear a
you live in
parachute.
Connecticut, right? You live in New England?
I do.
Do you realize
Yes.
you're now driving around basically in a red MAGA hat? Like, that's the symbol it basically has.
It's
become.
white. It's not red. So
Still,
it's
that's-
racist.
Back in March.
That's the new
back in
symbol.
March,
That's what it represents
No.
now. I hate to tell you. It's the Hummer
well,
of the 21st
he wasn't
century.
And I hate Hummers, so
Hey.
I look at them and I'm enraged. So
Sorry.
I know I'm having an internal conflict over this.
Is your
but
boyfriend
I
a crypto bro? Is he a crypto bro?
No.
Oh, I don't understand.
No. He's very not a capitalist at all. Like, he's very anti all of this.
Just a Tesla.
But pro Elon
the
Musk.
Tesla was sexy to him, so.
Yeah, well, he's
Right.
not wrong. It used to be sexy. He's just
Used
5
to be.
years wrong now. It was sexy 5 years ago.
we couldn't afford it 5 years ago.
All
Yeah,
right.
then you joined our company.
yeah, and now you can't afford
it.
it again.
Oh.
Your second option is Ye himself, which look, he changed his name to Ye from Kanye, but I am going to from now on refuse to call him Ye because it sounds very enthusiastic, like Yay. I actually think it should be pronounced
I
Ye,
agree with that.
as in ye old timey thinking about Jews. Like it should be ye.
A little bit more than thinking about them.
Yeah, well, I mean, he hasn't gone DEFCON 3 on a Jew that we know of yet.
Sociopathically obsessed.
But he apologized for being anti-Semitic. This is just rounding out his last 2 weeks. He apologized
Did
for
he?
being
That's not-
anti-Semitic by
Yeah.
saying effectively, yeah, but that old guy is a total R word about Joe Biden, right?
Wait, what? That's
didn't-
true? I don't know this quote. This is
He
true? That's how he
tweeted-
apologized?
He apologized and then followed his apology with calling Joe Biden an R word. That was his
Wait,
his
what?
sequence. Yeah, that's
I'm glad I haven't opened up these articles.
that's
Okay.
for real. That's when you were gone. You missed that. And then
Okay.
he gets dumped by sponsors including Adidas. Adidas, who was founded by actual Nazis.
Is that true?
That is
I wanna
100%
hear, I want to hear the proof. Don't
Nazi
Emma Lurking me.
sympathizers
Yeah.
founded Adidas. They were part of the Nazi party. And then, just yesterday or today, Yi goes on a walk unannounced into the Skechers offices
I did like this story.
with
yeah.
a video camera asking for new sponsorship for them before
Skechers.
Skechers, before getting escorted out. Yeah.
Skechers is an
Wow.
odd choice. It's like an old folks home. Skechers.
I actually love
What
that.
universe
though.
do we live in? Like, and
I
if
love
he's
that.
I don't know.
if he's walking unannounced into the office of a shoe company and saying you
Yeah.
should sponsor me, clearly we're not talking about a guy who had real billions. It was fake billions. Like his net worth has dropped substantially, and I'm guessing he's getting margin called, and he needs that money. So Yi
Okay.
is
Ballsy.
your second option. Your third option is
Number
very
3.
personal. Number 3 is very personal to me. It's that kid in class that showed up with RSV,
Is this
COVID,
Is this a real thing?
flu, and now Ebola. So that
Wait, is this a
my
real kid?
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
real kid because my kid is now home coughing up boogers.
Oh no.
And thank you, American public, for thinking it was a good idea to take masks off, like a bunch of fucking morons. And humanity, stop licking handrails and sneezing in each other's faces.
Well,
we wouldn't
I'll
have
tell
a
you
like
this.
quad lemma on our hands if not for that.
I'll tell you this: a local high school in Portland, where I actually went to high school, has closed today because of COVID. Up to 20% of students are out currently
Wow.
because of COVID. I'm sure that means many more have already contracted it. So
Here are your headlines.
thank you, Obama.
COVID hospitalizations climb again as another U.S. wave looms large. And Uganda Ebola outbreak tops 100 cases, 30 deaths. Cases growing in capital. So
All right, but still, the asshole of the week here would still be that kid
it's
in
that
class.
one kid.
That one kid.
That one kid who had all 4
Yeah.
and showed up at school anyway. The last option is a really simple one. It's the word collapsed in this headline.
Yeah, you're channeling Emma Lurking. I like
It's
it.
the word
remember she
collapsed.
had a whole thing about embattled.
Yes, this is the
Yeah.
word collapsed in this headline. A year ago, Mark Zuckerberg rebranded Facebook as Meta to bring the metaverse to life. His net worth has since collapsed from 118 billion to 37 billion.
Yeah, it's the wrong word. It's the wrong
Collapsed?
word for choice.
Does that
Yeah.
even matter?
37 billion is substantially
Wow.
different from 118 billion in some way.
We have a
So
CPA.
embattled.
Let's let the money whisperer talk. Is there really a difference between 118 billion and 37 billion? Is there really a real world difference?
I mean, I might be a CPA, but all of this just goes way above. I mean, I don't know what that looks like in real life. I don't even know what a million looks like in real life.
Think of it this way, Jesse.
To
if
me-
you had a $1 billion bill, you'd have 37 of them. That's how rich he is. 37.
That's easy to visualize. So
Thank
thanks
you.
for breaking that down. But I
There you
feel
go.
like if I had 37 billion or 118 billion, I would just be in my quiet little space in my 3,700 Teslas.
Yeah.
I would just be giving out Teslas.
Model 3 billion, yeah.
Just be
All
giving
right,
them out.
so those are your options. Elon,
Okay.
Yee, that kid in my kid's class, and the word collapsed to describe Mark Zuckerberg.
Oh, this is a tough one.
Billions.
Well,
Yeah.
definitely not that kid. Poor kid.
Fuck that kid.
I'm going to go with Elon because, oh man, the whole
It's hard not
thing,
to.
It's just the worst. He's the worst.
It's hard to get.
Might
It's
be.
like it is a lot like when we covered, I think last week or 2 weeks ago, the Washington Commanders president.
Oh, yeah. Dan
it's
Snyder,
or the statement
owner.
from them that said Tanya, comma, a breast cancer survivor,
Uh-huh.
comma,
Oh,
and then
God.
went on to
Mhm.
describe how they didn't like sexually harass people and like
Mm-hmm.
cover it up and get dirt on other people. That is a little bit like saying I bought Twitter to quote try and help humanity, whom I love, and I do so with humility. Right? Like there's an ellipses after that. He says more things after the humility, but just saying I did it with humility in and of itself is already
Oh,
What do
Yeah.
you think, Jesse?
Hard.
You got to vote?
Yeah, absolutely, Elon. I do think that the collapse, the Mark Zuckerberg headline should be mine because that's exhausting.
I like
Matt,
that.
I think
I like
Matt
that.
stole that. That's just like
you're right.
this is exhausting. But yeah, Elon gets assholiest.
Here's my only problem is that it's the of the week part. I mean, Elon he's just assholiest of the everything, right? I don't know about of the week, but I can't not also vote for him because, yeah, I think.
When did he turn into a Larry David character, though? Like,
How dare you? How dare you?
he's like the
why-
awkward guy at the party who shows up with billions and says.
But
he's
people
humble.
love Larry David. They love Seinfeld. They love Kirby. They don't love. Do they
Yeah,
love
but he
Elon?
would
I guess
write-
someone loves Elon.
If he would write into Curb a character who was a billionaire who showed up to parties and talked about being humble, right? Like that.
I see.
You know what I'm saying? He's like a character.
How
in
did
a
you?
in a skit.
How did you ignore the headlines about his $50 billion pay package? There was a headline this week about
Yeah,
that.
because that's old news. That's a lawsuit brought in 2018 by an investor about the tranches of pay that he got then. That isn't today news. So
Well, it's a runaway or asshole of the week.
it's not a
is Elon
runaway
Musk.
because my vote is for that kid in class.
You don't get a vote.
And,
You don't get a vote.
and I should veto all of you. All right,
All
let's
right,
do exhaustingest of the
Yeah.
week. Are we ready for exhaustingest?
Who's
Which
right?
is perfect, Jesse, because I'm already exhausted.
Every time.
I know.
Every time I turn on the music, Ari, without fail, just starts shaking.
As she
and
should, as she should.
going.
Yeah, she's tuned in.
I can't wait
Like
till
it.
March Madness. Anyway,
All right, come on, Jesse.
let's get done.
Okay. Exhaustingest of the week. So Damon, these
Yeah.
to catch you up, these are headlines that are just like, oh, really? Like, are we serious here?
I like your personality already. That thing you just did, the really with the eye roll and the head nod, that's my whole existence.
That is Damien's
Okay.
existence. You just described
All right, we're gonna
Damien.
be friends then. Okay,
Lose
so
the Tesla though. Yeah, go ahead.
it's not my Ari. Really? I thought I would just
Ari.
be able to like slide
No,
under
you
the
can't.
radar.
Nothing gets
No
by
way.
Damien, and he will bring it up for every show for the next
It's not
2
hers.
years.
You know what? I'm actually on
Damien's in Maine, so he would have never known had Ari not threw me
That's
under
true.
the
Actually,
bus.
Over.
you're only allowed to own Subarus in Maine, so yeah.
I have a
wouldn't-
Subaru. Okay, I
Okay.
own a Subaru.
Fine, fine. I just see you're okay. Don't worry about it. You're okay.
Okay, first headline. Environment Secretary Therese Coffey says she tackles climate change by using permanent cups.
This is
So-
one of the best.
seriously,
One
she
of my
was
favorite
asked,
ever.
what do you
Yeah.
what do you do in your own life
I love
you
this
know,
so much.
change
Is that a real
starts
quote?
with you, right?
Yeah.
What do you
I
do?
love
Yes,
this.
it's a video. You could watch a clip of it.
Mm-hmm.
And she says that she has committed to permanent cups, which who knows actually what a permanent cup is. I'm
Yeah, it's a good
assuming she
question.
means reusable because
Or
that's what
just
they're
like-
actually.
Or maybe she means her hands, like, you know, when you do this with your hands with the hose, with the water fountain.
Or she does what I hate, where she takes a plastic bottle and just puts water into it
Oh,
over and over.
I hate that too.
That's
I hate that.
No, she's talking about like an indestructible like polycarbon cup that she brings everywhere. That is
Like a
permanent.
mug.
As in, it
Oh,
will
I see.
never
She brings
break
her
down.
hydro flask.
It will
Yeah.
never break down.
Permanent
it will.
cup. I
It's a
love it.
permanent cup.
Jesse, did you read the story? Is she trolling here?
Yes.
Is this?
No.
Is she making fun
No,
of the
I
active-
watched the clip. No, she was actually asked this
Okay.
on a segment. I think it was like some breakfast show in the UK, and
course.
she answered,
Everything in the UK
and
is a
she was
breakfast show.
stuttering. She was stuttering. She
Why?
was trying to figure out how to answer what she does on a personal level as the environment
Because
secretary
she doesn't do anything.
in her own life.
Yeah.
Well, you
And
know,
she's the one
yeah.
leading.
well, why this is important is because of the same day, the new Prime Minister Rishi Sunak announced that he is not attending COP27. He's pulling out. So clearly a political move there. But we do at least have a permanent cup somewhere in the UK to counterbalance his
Wait.
decision, his awful decision.
But don't worry, he cited pressing domestic commitments,
What does that
including
mean?
preps for the autumn budget. The autumn, like,
Oh, I
it's
thought maybe he's
autumn.
getting new windows
is-
at his house or something. Like, what does that mean? What's pressing?
I don't know.
I mean,
Also,
Yeah.
the fact that he uses autumn. Ugh, how pretty.
I kind of like that. I like autumn.
Autumn.
this is exhausting.
But it is autumn, so is it this autumn's budget and they just don't have one? Is it next autumn? Like,
Good question.
what?
Okay.
I love that
Exhausting.
though. Thank you.
Um,
Thank you for
It's
putting out a
exhausting.
permanent
You're
cup.
welcome.
That's going to be a permanent new lingo on this show.
I do like to think of her like walking around with like a
Everybody bring their-
stone cup from like 800 BC. That's like her permanent
From like
cup.
Stonehenge died.
Yeah, like literally, she's
Well,
like,
Matt,
like
you
I
were just
said,
in-
permanent cup, and she needs like a small crane to lift it whenever she drinks. I like
Matt,
everything
you were
about
just
that
in
visual.
Rome.
Yeah,
You
There are
just took your
permanent
family to
cups there.
Rome. Can I tell you that my absolute, and I'm not kidding you now, I reserve 8 more seconds of seriousness. My absolute favorite part of Rome is that there are these public drinking fountains with delicious flowing water everywhere. It's just, and I just loved it. It's the greatest thing ever. And if you
yeah,
had a
but you
permanent
have
cup,
to bring a permanent cup.
you have to bring up. I know, but still, I just it's like, how is Rome the only city that's figured out that this is the way to combat plastic bottles? Is just having
What a
delicious flowing
novelty.
water.
Stuff. Yeah.
Yes,
Out of your permanent
safe
cup.
water. Wow. Okay. Also exhausting.
Yes.
Starbucks. Is Starbucks anti-union or anti-suicide prevention?
Wait,
Headline
what? The choice? Okay.
This is what I'm posing to you
Okay.
based on this headline. So why Starbucks cares so much about a little pin? Apparently a barista in Buffalo, which is one of the Starbuckses that is unionized,
Yeah, one
said
of the
he
most
was
famous, yeah.
fired. Yep, said he was fired for wearing a suicide awareness pin that he and fellow baristas wore to support a barista that they used to work with that lost their life
What?
by suicide.
Wow.
Yes.
What's the-
because
Yeah, tell us.
it's against dress code.
Stop.
But a lot
Yeah.
of under the surface, it's that there have been all of these retaliatory firings made against baristas and employees of unionized stores.
Was he one of the ringleaders? Like, was he was he a leader in the movement? Or
Oh no, just a barista. He was just a
That's a
barista, and the manager came in and said, "You can't wear that pin. It's against dress code." So he said, "I'm not taking it off," and got fired.
I'll say two
Wow.
things. A, I'm always amazed at Starbucks' terrible optics, and two, you're right that there is an exhausting litany of stories like this with Starbucks. Just like they're bizarre. The effort they put into being anti-union, I don't really understand anymore. Just
Right.
I mean, I don't know. I think they at this point they could embrace it, get them to the bargaining table, work something out that is still pro-management, and then they can just get rid of all these stupid stories. But what do I know?
this
Howard
just seems
Schultz.
like really
Holocaust
a
blanket.
really misplaced effort, like misplaced
Yeah.
place to put your effort.
Well, you have to figure out new ways to fire these employees, I guess. I mean, this is a good way. This is a good way, I suppose. Bad uniform pin.
I mean, this
I
one's
guess.
more sad than exhausting. I feel like the permanent cup is like got
Oh,
comedic
don't
exhaustion
crap on
to it.
Jesse's category. How
I'm just
dare you.
saying. I'm just saying.
It's exhausting because of the union chit chat. There's a sad element to it, but it's
mean,
also, come on.
Yeah,
It
just
feels
like
more
me. I'm
like
exhausted constantly, and this is
Let
sad
people
about that.
live. Let people live. Let people have unions. Let people.
it wasn't like every time a customer came in, they like knelt on the floor in solidarity with Black Lives Matter and refused to give them coffee. They put a pin on that was like probably a quarter size, and it was about suicide prevention, which can we say is uncontroversial? Is there anybody who's like,
Yeah.
I feel like you're inhibiting my rights by wearing that pin? That's not
Maybe
exactly
they're
like
worried-
taking a side.
Well, maybe they think that the whole new the phrasing of suicide is too woke. The death by suicide. Maybe it's an anti-woke statement, Matt. You ever think of that?
No, I did not think of that, and I retract
And how about
everything I
this?
just said.
How about that the world still gets to revel in Netflix for its #1 show about Jeffrey Dahmer? That's still okay to the world. Still okay, but the management at Starbucks is cracking down on suicide awareness pins.
Well, they can't stop them from watching Jeffrey Dahmer afterwards. What's next?
Okay.
I want to
ready
be
for
more
number 3?
exhausted. Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
Guess who's getting rich off of your electric bill?
Oh,
Oh, I like this. Who is it? Us?
This,
Not
well,
us.
it's obviously
No, oh,
the
shoot.
CEOs. Obviously the CEOs that are getting larger compensation packages. Meanwhile, there's a decline in median employee pay, widening the
Oh.
pay gap ratio, which Ari's going to be able
Ooh.
to tell us all about.
Nice,
and
nice.
I'm guessing she's going to include some of these utility companies when she
Utility
tells
companies
us
are
about it.
probably going to be the worst.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I will say personally, we've been on a roller coaster over here with our electric bill. It was $385 in July, up to $600 in August. We didn't
What?
do.
Did you travel a
we
lot?
didn't
You have a
do anything-
Tesla. Did you plug that baby in
No.
and drive to
well,
New
yeah.
Hampshire?
I mean, no crazy travel. We had one party where there was like people
One
in and out
party?
of the house with the air on, but like one day. For
painting a
one
very
day.
sad picture over there.
Then it goes back.
Like, once you're in, you're in. No
We
going
don't have
out.
many. We don't actually. It was my 30th birthday. Other than that, we have no friends and no parties.
Oh, do you live like in a modified Foot Locker box? What do you live in over there?
No. Then it went down to 460, and now it's down to 180. What is
Oh.
this?
Jesse,
What
here's
is
what you do.
this?
You do what I do, just like my previous statement about investing in the stock market. You just don't look at the bill. You just don't pay
Oh,
attention.
that's
Are you
yeah,
kidding?
that's
Block
all
it
Now
all
I'm
out.
like
Live in
Problem
denial.
listening to
I
this.
wish
I'm like,
I could
gotta
put
go
it-
check my bill month to month.
I wish I could put it on auto pay, but we pay Rob's mom. It's her house, and we pay her for the utilities. So she
Now
gives
we're
us this
getting-
item.
There's
she
a
thinks
lot
that
of Jesse.
Now we're
in
getting
the
she
weird.
story.
thinks
Now
we're
we're getting weird.
scamming. She thinks we think she's gonna scam us, so she gives us this really detailed breakdown and like
Really?
tells us that it warns us that it went up. So she was like, "Hey, just want to let you know, here's the bill, so you don't think I'm charging
Wow.
you."
Whoa.
Wow.
She's very sweet.
There's a lot
Very
of trust.
sweet.
That's a lot of
How?
trust.
What does her permanent cup look like? How is that one?
It's a it's a Yeti mug.
It's a Yeti mug.
If Kyle ever asked me for a bill, I'd be like, leave my house now.
Wow.
Well, you guys are just throwing. You guys
Yeah.
are throwing
We
around
would give
insider
her-
names. Kyle, Rob.
We'd give
no one
her
knows what you're talking about.
whatever. We'd give her whatever
Everyone knows
she
Kyle.
wanted, but she has very high integrity, so she wanted
All right.
us to know.
Let's vote on this.
I-
Most exhausting of the week.
I want to vote. It might be most exhausting that Jesse had only one party in the entire month.
Why is that exhausting to you?
Because if you're
How
20, you're 29 years old, you're turning 30. That's the only time you have a get
It's a
together.
good party.
I have
I will
You were
say-
complaining about
stupid
COVID. You were
neighbors
complaining
come
about
over
Ebola
like
and
4
COVID.
times a week. Yeah, I hate
I will
people.
say that, Matt, you said that you were going to have a party of all of us this summer,
will
and that
happen.
never happened.
It
So
will
at
happen.
least I had the party.
I'm just saying it will happen.
Summer's over.
But I didn't say which summer. I just said.
He didn't say which
Just
one
like
of us.
we don't know
He
which
didn't-
autumn.
Yeah.
He was waiting for me to get COVID because he was afraid I was going to bring it
It's not
down.
my fault that everybody got COVID and sick, and I hate humanity. My vote is easy on this one
Yeah.
because a permanent cup is simultaneously like exhausting that we're having that like climate
Permanent
conversation, but also fantastic. Come on, that's fantastic. That's a
It's
fantastic
so infantile. I hate how infantile it is.
I love it.
I hate this 2022 and we're still doing this. We're still like I just can't believe how infantile the discussion is. That her reaction to the prime minister not attending COP27 is that she owns a permanent cup.
Well, I will say, look, and this is serious.
Maddening.
When we used to go to client meetings back at the mothership at MSCI, and we're doing ESG ratings, and people would say, I would have portfolio managers look at me and say, like, oh, you're just telling us whether or not this company recycles, and we don't care about that. And I would have to explain, no, that's not what like climate change and climate change risk is. It's not like, do you recycle? And here it is in 2022. That was 14 years ago.
Yeah.
Here it is in 2022. And the environment secretary of a country that has set
Right.
a net zero target by
Sure.
2050 and has massive reduction targets is saying that the way she tackles climate change is a permanent cup. We're not that far from we recycle, so problem solved argument.
Not to mention-
She
Yeah.
also said we just all have to keep thinking about the amount of packaging we endure or food waste and other elements like
okay.
that.
I mean, we're still in
Other-
the same
Blame,
universe.
blame,
That
blame
is
the
what she
consumer.
thinks-
Blame the consumer.
is driving climate change.
Not only
We all
that, but
need
how
a
about the fact
stone
that
cup.
the UK just lost its #1 environmental advocate in Prince Charles because now he's too afraid to talk about it because he's claiming it's political. So there you go. Anyway, so that's your vote.
That's my vote.
I gotta go. Yeah, I'm gonna easy vote for me. Only because that we're talking about permanent cups. I mean, come on, that's an easy one for me. What do you think, Ari? I don't think your vote matters, but go ahead and vote.
No, I mean permanent cups. That's in regular.
Permanent cups.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
it. All right,
right.
that's fantastic. Let's finish this out.
Yeah. Anyone predictions? Anyone?
I have a prediction.
Oh wait, no. Who won the week? Let's
Oh, yeah,
who won the week?
I think we were all thinking around the same.
Mine's easy. Parag
Same thing.
Agarwal, former CEO of Twitter. He finally gets out of that mess with tens of millions of dollars. Easy one for me, Parag.
Mine is also Parag. I just love that he gets money for being fired under a year. That's great.
Jesse.
Yeah, I said the whole C-suite of Twitter and their padded pockets.
Right.
You guys missed the real winner. The real winner is the number 69 and the number 420.
I covered that already.
Yeah, but that's the winner of the week because this is the week of their coming out party where literally
don't-
every
stop it.
day on this
Stop it.
platform, all anyone's going to want to talk about is 69 and 420. It's basically those numbers won the week.
Predictions.
I have one. I don't think Ari and Jesse do.
I don't.
My prediction is EA gets his next sponsorship from Chick-fil-A, and they market it as Chick-fil-Yay. That's my prediction.
I like that one actually
They're
because
gonna have
Kanye
the
actually might be a
Chick-fil-Yay
good
sandwich.
Kanye might be a good match for Chick-fil-A. Frankly,
That's why it's like
I mean, you're already hating the
anti-woke.
gays. Why not hate the Jews? I mean, it's a perfect.
That's what I'm saying. Everybody wins here. Everyone wins.
Mine, Campbell's Soup is criticized for being tone deaf when they create an honorary climate change poop soup brand. Climate change poop soup. I don't understand it either. And they get flack from the diarrhea awareness pin group. Gives them flack too for that. They're making fun of
It was
diarrhea.
your thing. What do you mean you don't understand it either? That's all we got. We are Free Float Media. We're something. If you
Something all right.
It's something or other. If you haven't subscribed or shared or rated, do that thing. We'll be back on Monday, ostensibly with actual news from the actual world. Until then, goodbye.